once you experience love, you're not going to settle for like.
Hello, gorgeous people. My name is Ash Home and welcome to My Love Is, the podcast brought to you by Bumble. Bumble is the only dating app that encourages women to make the first move. Progressive. We love to see it. My love is comfortable silences, the need to not say anything because there's just so much love in the room. Across this series, we're going to be joined by a whole host of amazing guests where we're going to be talking about all things modern dating and modern love, from situationships to date fails to polyamory, right the way through to your love at first swipes. I am unbelievably excited for today's guest. Do we have any Bridgerton fans in the room? Silly question, of course we do. Today I'm joined by the incredibly talented Charithra Chandran, who starred in season 2 of the explosive Netflix series. From Oxford graduate to Vogue's rising star, she's got beauty, brains, talent. Oh, what more would you want? I'm so excited to speak to her. Let's go. Charithra, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you for having
Welcome
me.
to the My Love Is podcast. How is your 2023 going? I imagine you are crazy busy. I want to know about it. Tell me.
Well, 2023 is actually my year of yes.
Yes!
Yeah.
No, I'm so gassed you've said that. Wait, I have a tattoo that says say yes. Yeah, because that is my mantra.
Well, I think in 2022, my life changed so much. And I think, you know, it was transformative in many ways. And I think that I stopped living and I was always thinking about the future and I was super work orientated, which was amazing. But 2023 is about actually like living my life and saying yes to whatever comes up. So it's been fun.
Are you taking a bit of a break and just trying to enjoy now?
Not necessarily a break, but just recognizing that I can have both and I need both.
Yeah.
So spending more time with family and friends, dating more, doing more like activities.
We'll get into it. Yes, I'm so excited to get into that. Oh, I love that.
lots
So
of
just
good
more
things.
you time.
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
Is your life just so different from like a year ago?
Objectively, it is, right? But it doesn't feel different. Like,
Right.
I don't know how to explain it.
I know
but
exactly what you
right.
mean, yeah.
And like every change is so iterative in
Uh-huh,
that one cool thing happens or one different, unique thing happens and then another.
Yeah.
So it's not like suddenly your life
Just this
is different.
continuation of flourishment. You're just flourishing.
Oh, that's very sweet. I probably don't see it like that.
Yeah, nobody ever likes to say that they see it like that.
No.
We see it like that though.
You're so sweet.
It looks like that.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
But, and also like, my friends are the same friends that I've had for years, and they don't care about any of this.
Yeah, of course.
And so, like, my social life is the same.
Yeah. Which is so nice. I feel like that's really grounding to have your circle that has just been there from day one, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I think, like, my mental health being so good now is really because of that.
Right.
For sure.
That's so nice. Okay, I want us to start off with the Bumble question game.
Okay.
Right, so this is actually a feature on the app that basically, like, quick fire questions to help people get to know each other.
I know it well.
Yes, right, I love that. She's done her homework. Okay, so question number 1 is, what did you get in trouble for as a child?
I have to be honest, I was actually like goody two-shoes growing up.
No.
Yeah, I know.
No, yeah, you
This is why
almost
I'm trying
want
to
to
be
be that
rebellious now.
naughty child, don't you?
I know.
That's good though, that's a nice thing.
But I did do something
Okay.
that was a nuisance. It wasn't like
It's a
harmful.
nuisance.
It was a nuisance.
Even the way you said that was so cute. I was a nuisance.
Yeah. God, I sound like such a boring child.
No,
Oh my God.
you don't.
Well, so I love chocolate, like more than
Right.
anything in the world.
Right.
Um,
Facts.
And my parents are really into healthy eating, so we didn't have like a
Okay.
lot of snacks in the house. But my mum would buy boxes of chocolate when we'd go to
Right.
someone's house for dinner or to a party and whatever.
Peace offering. You always bring that little box of
Exactly.
celebrations or something.
As Indians, you can never
my
go to
God.
someone's house empty-handed.
Never. That is the worst thing you can do.
Exactly.
That's like shame.
And that's what I sort of indirectly made her do. So I would like I would kind of sneak in at night into the kitchen, open the box of chocolates, and let's say they were Ferrero Rochers or whatever.
Right.
I'd eat them and then like form them back into the shape and then seal the box. So my mum would like take a box of chocolates to someone's house.
That's
and
so
they'd be
crafty.
Completely empty.
And then, your mum's like, hi, April Fools, they're all empty. No.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. What is your guilty pleasure song?
I try not to believe in guilty pleasures. But
Why?
Because I don't think they should be guilty.
Oh, yes. I love that. Yeah.
I'm like, why are you embarrassed by...
Why are you embarrassed about
your
that?
song choices, movie choices, whatever.
Right.
But I have to admit, there is one artist
Go on.
that I always am a bit hesitant to say how much I love them, is Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide, you're joking.
I love Pitbull.
Do you know what? That was
such a
genuinely that
vibe.
was the last thing I was expecting you to say.
I love him.
everything.
He's such a vibe. Like when you're out in the club, like everyone's dancing to a Pitbull song.
You're not wrong. He
I
is
love
just
Mr.
guaranteed
Worldwide.
vibes.
Yeah.
That's killing me. Mine is Living La Vida Loca.
Oh,
Ricky Martin.
classic.
I know. Because I feel like any time you hear the...
Are you embarrassed to ask for it? Like at a house party or whatever?
Absolutely not. No. My shame left me years ago, so I'm just like...
There you go, not a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you're right. I'm going to tell people that now. I'm just going to say, what's your pleasure song? That sounds different.
I know, I was going to say, what songs do you like? Might be the best way to phrase it. Yeah.
Okay. If you weren't doing what you're doing now, you're obviously a very successful actress. You are.
I don't know.
Is there anything that you would do aside from this? Or is this just like the ultimate goal? I'm doing what I want to be doing. What would you be doing if you weren't doing this?
I mean, acting is my dream. Like, and it always has been. Yeah, it's like I wake up and that's what I want to do.
Really?
And I'm very lucky that I can make a living off of it. And of course, I want to like write and produce things.
Right.
But I feel like that's a bit of a cop-out answer. I'd say, you know, I was a management consultant before, right?
Stop.
And I liked it, but you know the problem?
Right.
So I was happy and I really enjoyed it and I liked the people that also were doing it, all of this. But the thing is, and I think about this with like boyfriends as well,
Right.
in that once you experience love, you're not going to settle for like.
Yes.
Right? And it's I liked that career. And I liked the idea of that life.
Right.
But I love performing.
Now you're like, this is where I need to be.
Exactly. And now it's like, if I went back to that, I wouldn't be happy.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
I can't believe you were like a corporate girly.
I was a girl bossing so hard.
No, that's crazy. So next one is, if you want to impress someone, what do you cook for them?
Oh my God.
I feel like you're gonna. Are you a cook?
I love to cook.
Stop.
I
yes.
love it.
Okay.
So what I've been really into right now is making a lot of like Mediterranean inspired food.
Ooh,
I love ottolenghi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And I love the idea of making like loads of small
Loads
plates.
of dishes. Yes.
And everyone sharing and trying different things. So I had a Galentine's dinner at mine.
Oh, I love that for you.
And I cooked like 10 different things.
Right. Do you know, mine's actually like, just like comfort food. I make this really good, it's like a creamy garlic sun-dried tomato chicken thighs.
Oh.
They're good. Okay, let's move on
Great.
to the meatier subjects. So you are Bridgerton's breakout star.
One of. There's so many. Everyone on that show is
You're
amazing.
so humble and I love it.
No, it's firstly that is the truth.
Yeah, that is the truth, for
everyone on that
sure.
show is making moves and doing great things.
It's an incredible cast. Like it's had me in a chokehold since season 1, honestly. You are a very in-demand person.
Thank
You
you.
must be traveling. I guess life is busy by ballpark of what you do. How does that fare with your dating life? Is it impossible? Are you dating? Like, what's the vibe at the moment?
Yeah. It's harder for many reasons.
The pause said everything. It's
harder. Yeah. It's harder for many reasons. One, I think, like you said, it is so much work and it can be really demanding, whether like physically, emotionally, on your time. And secondly, I think it can be quite intimidating, someone who really loves their work so much.
Totally.
Someone maybe who has, I guess, what's socially perceived as status, I suppose. And then the other thing is like, and I think this is my paranoia, I don't even think this plays out in reality. I think you worry...
like the intentions of people,
The intentions
maybe?
of people, exactly. Like that actually I think stems from my own insecurities. I'm like, oh, you might only like me because I have access to certain things rather than like,
whereas
you can't
have
possibly...
all these attributes like that they probably love you for.
I don't know, but I'm always like, oh, you can't possibly like me for me. It has to be these things.
Right.
But in a weird way, I think, especially like the first couple of points, they're like really good filter systems. Right?
Okay.
For someone who doesn't understand, someone who likes to work hard and who really takes their work seriously, and someone who like isn't willing to compromise on certain things, it would never work out.
Is balancing it hard? Because obviously like long set days, you're away, you're here, you're there, you're everywhere. Like that's so hard to navigate. And I have a little bit of that just from, I was like a dancer for 6 years and then they were unsociable hours and whatever, you know. Is it hard to balance it?
It for sure is, and I'm actually like really bad on virtual comms. It's not my strength.
You're an IRL girl.
Absolutely, you're like a phone call, you know?
Yeah. Do you like a FaceTime?
I do not like a FaceTime.
Yes, good, right. I just
like a FaceTime. Give me a call. Or
Fine.
Like, but please text me to be like, can I FaceTime you? Don't just...
I think it's a bit intrusive sometimes to be like...
You just...
Yeah,
no,
right. I'm there with like my towel on my head, and you're like, "Hello, FaceTime." I'm like, "No, not today."
Even with my friends, and also low key, this is another reason I don't want to FaceTime. Like, I really like multitasking. Okay. So I like being on a phone call.
Yes, me too.
While like maybe tidying or doing my makeup and
doing your washing, like whatever. Yeah, I agree.
But I think in many ways it's like helped me define what I need in a partner because there are so many things that they need to be for it to even like get off the ground.
Totally.
So harder for sure, but also like maybe a blessing in disguise.
You're just finding where the bar is, really.
Absolutely,
aren't you?
yeah.
Would you say that you've changed the way that you date since your career has changed, going off the back of that? Like, I imagine it was so different today because you were like a uni girl and like...
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Like, I can imagine
bumbling it up.
Right.
Yeah, 100%. In a way, it sort of harks back to like more of a Bridgerton style of dating, or like, I guess more old-fashioned style of dating where now it tends to be like in person, friends of friends, all of that biz.
Oh, really? Yeah. Friends, like, have you had a few of those where it's been like...
Yes, I have.
Oh, so-and-so wants to go on a date with you, blah, blah, blah. And how is that? Like, being who you are, you know, is that like...
Really reassuring though, because... birds of the same feather flock together. I really believe that. Yeah. And my friends are amazing. My friends are awesome people. So if they're friends with someone...
it's the best recommendation, right?
Then I'm like, you're sound.
Yes.
Like, a base level. I'm not worried about you being weird.
Yeah.
So,
especially with you, and you have to... you do have to factor those things in when you're somebody that's in the limelight somewhat. You know, it sounds icky to say, but it's true.
Yeah, it's a really uncomfortable thing.
It is.
You kind of... I'm like, well...
I'm just a normal person.
I don't think of myself that way.
Right.
But I guess, sort of,
Like, my friends are always... We know each other so well, and I imagine you're the same with yours. Like, you know, hearing how much they mean to you. So my friends know immediately. Like, we could be out and they'd be like, oh, my God, Ash, you know... that guy is such a bit of you and he's really charismatic. I think you should go over and say something. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, and that's the best advice, isn't it? Hearing it from your friends because you're like, oh, you know me. So 100%. You know that I'm going to be
And you know what I need, I think. Yeah. Sometimes, like, we can't even identify that in our... Right. Because your friends, like, know what you want and know what you need so well.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's amazing that, like, Bumble has that kind of refer a friend feature where you can directly send someone that you see that you might go, oh my God, this person is amazing and this person's really cool.
Thing. Yeah.
But not for me.
Yeah.
For this person.
Because I've seen that so much. Like my really good friend, she's big and she's a big yogi. She's she's so spiritual. And I see guys sometimes come up and I just think, oh my God, this is perfect. send. And I'll literally message her from upstairs. We live together.
Yeah.
So I message her from upstairs being like, just sent you someone. I really think that's a thing. Like, tell me what you think.
Love
and
it.
It's such a nice way of doing it. And also
100%.
that feeling of safety as well, because it's your friend has, you know, referred it to you. And it's
more
just...
than that, I think, like, sometimes, you know, with apps, it's like a pro and a con that there are so many options.
Right.
There are so many people.
Right.
And it's like, if you find someone that you think is cool for your friend, the fact that, like, you don't have to, it's just easy to connect people.
Totally.
It feels really, like, genuine.
Yeah.
Right? To find matches and connections.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about, because I feel like our generation, like it's 2023, I feel like a lot of the societal norms are being like shattered in terms of dating and love and what we view to be, you know, our normal. Do you think people are more open to non-conventional ways of love, like polyamory and like the open dating, and like where do you sit with like where you feel about that? Not for yourself necessarily, you know, but generally. Yeah, generally.
I mean, I think that I'm always a like live and let be kind of person. But I think that as society changes, we've accepted so many like changes in what we see as conventional or normal. And I actually think there is this notion of like shattering the idea of convention. And that also includes like how we date. I think that for sure in the last few years, unconventional forms of dating, which is polyamory, open dating, you know, whatever, has become more normalized, which is amazing. And it provides more options and opportunities for people, especially because the world is so global now, people travel more, you know, we don't live in the same world that we lived in 50, 60 years ago. And I think like dating will need to and has adapted to modern times. And also we have to remember that like 20 years ago, dating for women was very different to what it is now.
Oh my God,
and
totally.
I think we need to like take advantage of the freedoms and the like opportunities that we now have. We don't exist in a vacuum, and so many of our values are ingrained socially, familiarly, religiously, whatever. And I would love for young people, not just young people, everybody to really like sit down and examine what they want out of their lives and what they actually believe in, rather than what they think they should. Because so many people, especially with unconventional forms of dating and relationships, I think they think, oh, it could never be for me, you know, without really an understanding or an explanation of why.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is potentially limiting in someone's life.
Yeah.
So
I also think when we stick with what we know, like that's like that comfortable space. Nobody likes to be out of their comfort zone. But obviously that is like where we grow and where we figure out all these things about ourselves that maybe we didn't know. And, you know, like through dating even, there's so many things that I thought I wouldn't like in somebody that like since dating I've been like, oh God, actually, I really like this quality. Like this is something I'd look for. Yeah, it's so interesting. So, a little birdie told me that your mum is in the dating game fully, which I really love. This is so nice because I haven't talked about this yet in terms of parents and dating.
Yeah.
Whole different world. She's on Bumble.
She is on Bumble.
I'm very proud of her. How is that going? Like, did you have to give her a bit of a push? Is she just open to love? Like, where is she at the moment?
I think there is now a generation of women who are older, who are entering the dating scene, and the dating scene being so different to what they knew, including like the use of apps.
Yeah.
Like we have to really have empathy and understanding when we're discussing this with our parents or maybe our friends who are older. And so I think with my mum, it's always been about being really gentle and encouraging and letting her take her time, you know?
Yeah.
And like even just creating a profile on Bumble was such a huge step.
Yeah.
Especially because on Bumble, like it's women-led, right?
Yeah.
And women message first, which can be
that's
super
also
scary for that generation. Whereas for like us, yeah, of course women make the first move. Like that's not that's
it's
not
it's not as scary to us, but that notion for somebody who maybe hasn't dated for years and years and it's like, oh my God, it's in my hands? Like, what do I say? What do I do? Like, did you have to give her a bit of advice in terms of how to say stuff?
How to set up the profile, but also like we don't realize there are so many unspoken rules when it comes to like dating profiles.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like we know just from, I guess, culture and experience, like if they have a photo like this, or if they put this is a red flag. And men especially have, because men don't take photos, right?
Right, my dad does this, you know, like, hi, every photo he sends me is like this downward angle, it's hell. I said to him, no.
Selfie. Because like women, we get, and I'm generalizing, obviously.
Yes, but we are better at knowing.
And like we want to take photos to commemorate when we look good or we feel good. Whereas like men take fishing photos. And like photos when they see something cool.
Babe, there is nothing worse than...
just...
Do you know the fishing photos are like my greatest hit?
I love a good fishing photo. I think it's so funny.
I can't.
I think it's hilarious.
Oh my God, Joe Blogg's standing there with his trout and I'm like, I don't know
I
how
love
I
it because
feel
they're
about
so proud.
Yeah, they are so proud.
Fish that tiny and they're so proud.
And they're always like...
hilarious.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, Bridgerton took everyone by storm.
Yeah.
Everyone loved it. Why do you think we were so captivated by this like regency era and the love of it? And do you think we're just like longing for a bit of that old courtship?
Courtship, yeah.
Like, do you think that's why everyone was just so obsessed by it?
For sure. I think there's a simplicity to dating back then, right? All of your options were trapped in a room together.
Right.
And like, you knew
That's
what was the best of it.
That's why the tension was just, you were just like,
this is it.
Everyone's doing these side-eye looks to each other, but this person likes this person. It's like, oh.
And I think that the kind of old-fashioned courtship is so sweet and so romantic and feels really like earnest, I guess. Truthfully, I'm always, and I think this is like with every rom-com, not just a period drama, I'm always like very cautious about things being over-romanticized.
Fine.
Because we are selling a dream, right? And I think like I always want to remind people that women in the, like, we have a lot more freedoms now.
Sure.
And, you know, I always say like, dating in Regency England was like a battle, guys. Yeah, like it's super romantic and there are pretty dresses and courtship is all great. But also like a pressure pot for young women.
Sure.
And like 100% dating for women is better now.
Right, you're also coaxing a lot of like women into relationships that necessarily they didn't want to be in.
Exactly.
And you know, the time wasn't right, but it's like, well, you're of age, off you go.
And it's easy to romanticize the past, I think, whether that's like the 1800s or the 2000s. And I would say dating for women has never been better. Like I almost feel like there's an objective truth.
Yeah.
But it is a nice fantasy to buy into.
It is
but
a nice
we shouldn't
fantasy.
live in the fantasy.
Yeah, okay, so you're like, take
enjoy
elements
the fantasy.
of it.
Absolutely.
But bring it to the new age.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
I love that. I need to know, what are the corsets like?
So
Are they hell and horror, or are they actually like, are you looking in the mirror like, do you know what? This looks good and I'm cinched.
I can only speak for myself. This, like, everybody has a very different experience with it. But, you know, my corset was made by Mr. Pearl's apprentice, who's like the #1 corseteer in the world.
Right, wow.
And I also had a half corset, which just means it's like basically like a long bra.
Right.
Which is definitely more comfortable than the full corsets.
Yeah.
So I know the people that had full corsets had like a much harder time of it. And I found mine comfortable.
They were so
and
beautiful.
They definitely, like, especially when they, you know, I'm not well endowed, you know, in the bust region. And I was like, oh my God, I got titties now.
Yeah, I love that.
So I did enjoy that.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, Charithra, Bumble has a compliments feature, right? So the aim of it is to encourage people to send their potential matches or dates or whatever, compliments based on their vibe or character rather than their appearance, which I think is amazing, right? And I feel like we should all do more often. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, first of all, how are you with compliments? Can you take them?
I'm terrible at taking them, but I love giving them out.
Fine. Oh, I love that.
I'm good at taking them when they don't feel like intrinsic to me. When someone's like, I love your outfit, or I like, I love your hair, or like that kind of stuff, you're
like, great, I didn't make this.
So
yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. Then I'm like, oh my God, do you like
that? Yeah, that was the first thing I said to you. I was like, this outfit, yes.
Thank you. Yes, this is a beautiful outfit.
It's giving, it really is.
Thank you very much.
But yeah, so you're okay at taking compliments.
But I love giving them because it's it's free. It's free to give a compliment.
For sure.
And if you can, like, it makes people so happy. And I think as a society, we like don't give out compliments enough.
I always think this. I have this conversation with my friends all the time. And me and my best mate Jack talk about it a lot, actually. We're like, if you see something, and even if it's not easy to make the compliment, like we literally will do it where we'll see a girl from ages away wearing like a colour that just complements her skin tone so amazingly. And Jack will be like, I'm going to go and tell her. And I'm like, oh my God, go and tell her, yeah. And we'll literally run it, and then you can see the like happiness it like exudes in somebody is so nice, right?
I think it's also a cultural thing, both like being able to give it and accept it. And I think like, for example, Americans are way better at giving and accepting compliments. I think it's a really British thing to be like,
very
no,
British.
not me.
Yeah.
You don't mean it.
Right. Everything we do is self-deprecating. Like my whole humour is like, oh, no, I'm in the trenches.
Exactly.
You know, so it's hard. Have you ever had a compliment that's stuck with you that's like not based on your appearance?
I think that the compliments that really affect me and like, they're like a punch to my
Hit good your punch, soul,
good punch to my stomach, are the ones that are about my moral character. God, I know that sounds so cringe.
Okay, no, I love that.
You know, in life, I think it's really easy to get caught up with stuff like success and wit and intellect, and all of these things are so important, and beauty and all of this. But when someone says to you, but when someone says to you, you're a really kind person. Like you're a really, oh my God, I will tear up. Like someone says you're a really thoughtful person. I'm like, because again, it reorientates you. God, that was a really weird noise. It reorientates you to like actually what's important. And it's the same with kids. We tell kids like, you're so smart and you're so beautiful and like all of this. That's not nearly as important as like your kid being kind and generous and like willing to share and all these things. So those are the compliments that I wish we dished out more and that I love to receive.
Kids, that's such a nice like way to think about it, because kids will really, there is no filter in kids. So kids will just say, I like this, I like the way you did this, I like that. And it's like, it's almost really, it's taking it right back to like the basics of just what you like about somebody that isn't just, you know, they'll say, I like your hair, but they'll really just say the weirdest compliments to you. And it's so nice because it's like, oh God, that's really genuine. That's so nice. And it came from a child, you know?
Exactly. And with like all the babies in my life, when I'm with them and like, let's say they've gone to school or something, the first thing I'll ask them when they get back from school is like, were you kind to someone today?
Oh,
like, what did you do that was kind? Or what did you do that was nice today? And I think it's just reinforcing like those are the values that matter.
For sure. I love that. So Bumble is all about women making the first move. We had a little chat about that, about your mum, you know, and like encouraging her to make the first move. Are you typically someone that makes the first move?
Yes. Oh my God.
Really?
Not typically. I mean,
you're not afraid to?
I'm not afraid to at all.
Okay.
I'm like, I really love efficiency. Like efficiency is the sexiest word to me.
You're like, look, I'm just going to go right up there, see if he's single or not. If he's not, bye.
In the same way, like playing games. People might enjoy that. I don't know. It's not for me.
No.
And I think, I just like, I can't be bothered. And I also don't want to like put my dating life in someone else's hands. So you could spend hours, days, weeks, whatever, hoping that someone asks you out or someone shows you interest. Why waste all that time? You just go ask. If they say yes, great. If they say no, you move on with your life. You haven't wasted months pining over somebody. So
I agree.
It's not romantic, I have to say, but it's efficient.
No, girl is efficient. And we are all about efficiency in 2023, okay?
Exactly.
What about your kind of less confident friends? Do you have friends that are just like, oh my God, no, I absolutely can't treat that. I can't go up to that person. What advice would you give them? Like, are you ever offering up your kind of efficiency pearls of wisdom? Like, just go and say this, get it done.
I always say, like, making the first move looks different to everybody. And that's what's important to remember. So someone who's super extroverted, super confident, maybe a little drunk, making the first move
always helps.
Exactly. Drink responsibly, kids.
Yeah, literally.
Someone who's super confident, their way of making the first move might literally be going up to someone and being like, hey, you're really cool. Like, you know.
I'd love to get to know you. Where are you from? Yeah, right.
But also, what I'd say to someone who's more introverted, more shy, is that that first move can look really different.
Right.
You could just go up to someone and ask them a question like, hey, I really like your shirt. Maybe not shirt. Or shoes. Where is it from? Where'd you get them? Or
this is my favourite one to use. I've used this many times, and I'm a huge extrovert.
I was going to say, you don't seem introverted to me.
No, and I'm a real extrovert, but also I think for me sometimes, especially in the dating world, I think, oh God, I don't know. Let me just see. You know, you can instantly gauge if someone wants to be there and wants to be talking to you. So I think that is the best thing to do. The whole, oh, I love that shirt. Where did you get that from?
And especially like if you want to play into the psychology of people.
Yes.
More than like maybe that, I mean, it depends on the person. Let's say you're at a bar and you're having a drink and they're having some sort of cocktail or whatever. Like ask them, hey, that
looks so good.
Also,
what's that?
It doesn't seem flirty at all, but it opens up conversation. You go, that looks amazing. What is that? I want to order it.
Yes.
And that's like a really good way.
Right.
God, I love dating.
You're like, I love this. Me and you should get out on the town tonight. I feel like we would be a force to be reckoned with.
I love it.
But
and
you
like
can
analysing profiles. I love all of
but you
that.
can also do that. That's what I mean. That translates really nicely into apps as well because there isn't this, like you said.
You don't have to go, hey, how are you? Want to grab a drink?
Right.
Like, find something on their profile. Like, let's say they have a dog. Right. Which is always popular.
Always.
It's a winner.
Anytime a guy has a dog, I'm like, well,
Yeah. A person with a dog, it's a winner.
Charithra, thank you so much for joining me today. I've loved our little date.
Same.
I think this is really
we need
nice.
to have a second date.
I think we should. Should we go for a drink?
Let's do it.
Yes. So before we wrap, I ask everyone on here what their love is, right? So my love is comfortable silences. Yeah, it's a good one. And that can be, it doesn't have to be romantic.
Yeah.
I like the romantic ones, but also comfortable silences in life with friends. You just get on with people that well that it doesn't matter. You can sit in silence and just enjoy their energy. What is your love?
Oh, my love is someone who will let me steal their food.
Ah, good one. Why didn't I think of that?
It's a must.
Yes.
Or share.
Yeah.
Or taste their food.
Sharing is caring.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, darling.
Thank you.
This has been My Love Is with myself, Ash Home. It has been a pleasure to have Charithra on with us today. She's an absolute babe. Make sure you watch, join in on the conversation, listen. We want to hear your thoughts, and I will see you again soon. Bye.